podcast. I'm your host, Jim Neander, with you as always here. So this is the last part, our 12th segment of our 12-part draft prep series. Feels like started this in 2019. Now, it's been fun. They've been short episodes, so pretty easy to catch up with them. And listen, if you know where you're drafting in your draft this weekend, then you don't have to watch every episode. You should, but you don't have to. You can just pick the third episode or the eighth, whatever spot you have, and it'll help you get a little bit more prepared than you are right now. But I certainly recommend listening to every episode, of course. Even the ones from last year, why not? No, I'm kidding. I know fantasy football moves too fast. You don't need to listen to last year's shows. So, we got our last episode. Like I said, the 12th episode. This is going to be picking from the 12th spot now. When you draft at the 12, it's usually hard going. I'm not the biggest fan of drafting all the way at the turn. I mean, you get two players kind of right away, which is nice. So you can get two great, running backs or two great wide receivers or one great of each. But then that 3-4 turn, man, that 3-4 turn, it really, for me, is what makes or breaks, your draft when you're drafting from the 12 spots. So, make sure we're in here and we're on the 12, yeah. All right, gonna start our draft. And we're gonna see what happens here at the 12. So, let's see if there's any surprises here. I don't think so, doesn't look like it. Barkley went first. I guess it's a surprise. Doesn't really matter to us, but give the second team an advantage you didn't need. So the top 5, then Michael Thomas. Kenyon Drake, second draft in a row. He's been closer to the middle of the first round, and he had been going in the early second round. Derrick Henry, then Adams and Jones, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And on this last draft, we went with Mixon and Jacobs, and we could do that on this one. Except that, I don't have Eckler as high as these guys do. Let me get into my running back rankings here. Just so we can confirm, who I actually have higher. I do believe I have Miles Sanders, and then it would be Josh Jacobs. So it would be Miles Sanders and Josh Jacobs over Joe Mixon. So we're going to go that way. We're going to go Miles Sanders. And then the question here is, do we think about going wide receiver with Tyreek Hill or DeAndre Hopkins? If I don't go wide receiver now, I'm probably going to pick back-to-back wide receivers at 3 and 4, more than likely. All right, so I guess I'm going with Josh Jacobs here over Joe Mixon. After Mixon signed the contract, man, it really makes me want to just nudge him up a little bit. But I think Jacobs is going to be a workhorse to a level that Mixon's not going to be, even though they only have Giovanni Bernard behind him. All right, so now we got a long ways to go. You're not going to get either of the good tight ends unless you pick them early and reach at that 201. Definitely not going to get one of the quarterbacks unless, you reach at the 201. Because they're not making it back to the end of the third. So, let's just say, if I was thinking about a quarterback, I don't have to right now. Because the end of the 5th round, early 6th round is when that next tier starts to go. The Dak Prescott's, Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson tier. So even if I want one of those guys, I can still wait till it comes back to me at the 5-12, and I'll still be able to have my pick of those 4 guys. Maybe one will be gone. So I know that. Looking at tight ends, let's say I want one of the next small tier of tight ends, which for most people, myself included, is Mark Andrews and Zach Ertz. I wouldn't say you're very much overpaying for Mark Andrews here, just by a little bit. You're definitely overpaying for Zach Ertz, but he won't make it to the end of the 5th. So you got to decide, do I want a tight end now or do I not? I do not. I want 2 wide receivers that are going to help my team. And I see these guys, like the same guys that are available to me these last few drafts, it looks like. So I go into my rankings here, and I know that I have A.J. Brown at number 11. And Robert Woods at number 10. And those are the 2 guys that I want. I have Ridley, at 13, so I do have a great, rating on Ridley. McLaurin at 17, Chark at 21. So, I like a lot of these guys. But Bobby Trees, come on. Uh-oh. There we go. And A.J. Brown. And I love this because, you know, in a PPR league, it's nice to have a little bit of both. So not that A.J. Brown's not going to be the most targeted guy on Tennessee. He more than likely will be. There's no reason not to be. But you don't know if he's going to be a 130 kind of target guy. And I think that Woods very well might be a 140 to 150 target kind of guy this year. And I think that A.J. Brown only needs 120 targets to have an absolute, great season. So, all right, let's look at what happened here. I went with my two receivers and then bam, Mark Andrews. Just like I said, that's the pick. If I wanted Andrews, I would have to go right there because Andrews went, then Ertz went. Now, Dak Prescott's just creeping up earlier and earlier. He's starting to go into the fifth, and now the first pick in the fifth. That guy had to make that decision also, right? He's at the other turn, and he had to say, hey, I got, 22 picks until it comes back to me. What are the odds that I'm going to get the quarterback I want if I wait? Or with the other people that I like. So he went ahead and waited. He said, I'm going to get other people that I like. So he went and picked Dak Prescott. I understand. And I got to do the same thing right now. Like I think Russell Wilson is the next guy. If I want Russell Wilson, I have to know that now is the time to get him. Or I'm not going to get him. But I'm not going to go that way. I'm still looking running backs and tight and wide receivers, honestly. Lev Bell keeps sliding. He was in the third for a long time. Now last pick in the fifth, and he could have the volume that we think he's going to have. I know he's getting unpopular, but I'm going with Lev Bell. Sorry. Yep. All right. And maybe a wide receiver here, maybe another running back. We're going to see. I've been drafting a lot of Kareem Hunt, but the chance to get Gallup here, that's hard for me to turn down. And I think I have to. Woods, A.J. Brown, and Gallup. Man, this is probably what keeps killing my my draft is all the Michael Gallup shares I have. But I don't know if he's a starter right now. You can't have enough. You cannot have enough Michael Gallup. That's my opinion. All right. Well, I've got 3 of each. So I like my balance, as it were. All the quarterbacks. Bam! Look at all those guys gone. And then the older tier, gone. Ooh, Stafford went. Brady's there. I think this is going to be where I pull the trigger here on either Rodgers or Brady. Rodgers with the weapons. I have Rodgers right now above Brady a little bit, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep him there. How do I have him above, and why? Is it just the rushing? Just a small amount of rushing? 206. I guess it could be. Right? Who knows? How many points ahead do I have Rodgers? 359. All right, so I've got Rodgers 9 points ahead of Brady. I was already thinking I need to bring Rodgers down a little bit, so Brady's going to be the pick. Yeah. Tom Brady's going to be the pick. All right, so we now have our quarterback. So we have every position except for tight end, and of course our bench, our depth, right? That's what we're looking for here. So we're going to take a peek at tight end again because we know we have a lot of picks. Hunter Henry, Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst is my favorite of that group, but I'm not going to reach because I really like Gesicki, really like Hawkinson, and I love Blake Jarwin's opportunity. You know that. So I just hate drafting Jarwin's. I think he messes with my freaking draft grade. But I think I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and try to get Jarwin in the last round here. So that's going to be our strategy. We're going to wait and see if we can get Jarwin in the last round or maybe Hawkinson. I don't know. We got to wait till the last pick. 2, 1, 2. Yeah. No, it's not the last pick. I get the first pick in the 13th, and it goes the other way. So I think. All right. Ooh, Cam Akers falling. That's surprising. I really like Cam Akers. And I need a 4th running back. He's very high upside. We know if he's the number 1 in the Rams offense, we've seen with Todd Gurley. I'm not saying he's Todd Gurley talent, but we've seen with Todd Gurley that the running back in that offense, even though they're kind of pass happy, the running back can be extremely, extremely valuable there. All right, so we still didn't go tight end, but as you see, because everybody pretty much has one now. Ooh, that That guy went with 2 tight ends, huh? In the 4th and 5th, I didn't even notice that. But no tight ends have gone in the last 3 rounds. 3 rounds, count them. So again, if you're out on tight end, don't feel pressured. If you don't love those guys right in the middle of the pack, because then you'll get a lot of chances after that. So I got 2 more packs of picks, 2 more combos of picks to make, and then I got one last single one. So let's see, a minute and a half left. All right, what do I have here? I've got 4 running backs. I've got 3 receivers and no tight end. No best player available here. There's still a lot of really good receivers down here that I like. And even though I have 4 running backs already, I don't know why running backs are just, the backups are not going right now. People don't want them. I know why people don't want Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette. I get it. I'm going J.K. Dobbins. This guy, you hear the term a lot, league winner. But the fact is, if Mark Ingram goes down, that's my 3rd value pick here they've given me. This has got to be a great team. It better be. I want that A. I want that A on this last one. You hear me? You hear me, Fantasy Pros? I want that A. All right, so I went back-to-back high upside running backs here. Gives me 5 running backs, 3 receivers. I need a receiver. Still need a tight end. Let's just look at both these situations. Hunter Henry falling. I agree with that. Fall. Hayden Hurst. But there's still Gesicki. There's still Hawkinson. There's still Jarwin. So I am going to tempt, I'm going to just, wait and see it. Make sure I still get somebody that I want. But I'm going wide receiver. Let's find who I like down here. Man, wide receivers. A lot of wide receivers went in this draft. All right, I found my guy here, Mecole Hardman. It's very possible he's going to sit on my bench and just wither away. That definitely can happen. But it's also very possible that he's the number 2 in the Kansas City wide receiver. I don't think he could be the number 2 option. That would definitely be, Kelsey and Hill as the 1 and 2 options, as it were. But all right. So we got 3 picks left, but this is our last 2-pack. Look at all those running backs that went, all those high upside running backs in those 2 rounds after I picked Akers and Dobbins. I think I killed it on this draft, waiting to just the right time to grab each of these guys. I waited and got Bell at the 5th. I waited and got Gallup at the 6th. Got Akers in the 8th. I love that. All right, a bunch of tight ends went. Hayden Hurst went. Hooper, Fant. Let's see here. If I don't take one here, then I'm waiting. And I'm hoping people don't take a lot of backups here. But I love Jarwin, and hopefully that doesn't tank my whole team here. I'm going with a PPR possible machine in Chris Thompson. Because we don't know what's going on in Jacksonville. We know that right now, there's Chris Thompson and Ryan Paul Armstead. And, again, I've said it before, the Jay Gruden narrative coming from Washington. He must love Chris Thompson. How many injuries Chris Thompson had gone through in Washington. And he just kept sticking with him. And I'm fine with that. Which just tells you he must really like this guy. So, all right. So we still need tight end. I can do it right now. Or I can wait for Jarwin. I'm going to wait for Jarwin. I'm going to go another high-end wide receiver. Not going to go with a quarterback backup. I can get Cam Newton. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I never really picked 2 wide receivers. I'm not going to start now, I don't think. Let's see. What did I say? I'm going to go receiver again? All right. Paris Campbell's my guy here. But let's go to N'Keal Harry. They just let go of Mohamed Sanu. And that's what's going to make me pick N'Keal Harry here. Only that reason. My 2 guys, looks like my 2 guys made it back. Hawkinson didn't make it back. Blake Jarwin and Mike Gesicki are basically the 2 guys that are still on the board. And, I'm going to go, I have Jarwin rated higher, yes. But just to cheat the system, I'm going to go Gesicki because hopefully I get a better grade with Gesicki. But I probably would have went Jarwin there. Either way, you're fine. They're right next to each other in my rankings. So I'm not really giving up a lot. Come on with this auto B crap. Whoa! All right. So this is where it gets, this is where I just don't understand. I think this team is killer. Dan Harris, you bum. C minus, 72? And then an 83 and an 84? The consensus grade was better than that. The consensus grade was an 86. I don't know where I went wrong here. I don't think I went wrong. Excuse me. I don't see where they went wrong, what they're seeing in my team that I'm not seeing. Let's go over it real quick for the last time here. Tom Brady is my quarterback, and I waited. I got him pretty late. He was one of the last quarterbacks taken. Yeah, I don't know. Running backs, Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs, Le'Veon Bell, Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins, and Chris Thompson. Like the mix there. I mean, Sanders and Jacobs, I'm not sure. I understand Sanders has some more question marks right now, maybe with the injury, but I don't know. People have been talking him up as a possible, mid-first rounder for a while there. I got him as the last pick in the first round. I like it. I like Lev Bell in my flex where I got him. The value's good. At the end of the last pick in the fifth, right? Or the first pick in the sixth, whatever you want to call it. I think the value's there. Then wide receiver, Robert Woods, A.J. Brown, Michael Gallup, then Mecole Hardman and N'Keal Harry. Those top three, though. Woods, A.J. Brown, and Michael Gallup, again, are all in my top 12. So, suck it, honestly. Good upside with Hardman and N'Keal Harry, and then Mike Gesicki. I keep waiting for tight end. I don't know how much that's affecting me, but they have, him ranked as a tight end 1. So if you're going to wait till the 13th round and get a guy that's in your consensus ranking, tight end 1, I don't see how that's going to hurt your grade. I'm a little hurt by that one. Can you tell? I'm a little bit salty. I don't like it. Look at this. This is no surprise. For the love of God, every single draft. So this is all it comes down to. This is the narrative. This is my pre-draft, mock draft narrative that my teams are A teams. These are A-plus teams with a huge amount of depth and just some guys that need to follow through. So they have me as the 5th highest scoring team overall with the 9th highest scoring starters. And by far, again, far and away, the highest scoring bench. And I like to see that. I like to see that, my research is paying off. That's how I see it. That I'm picking guys in the 11th, 12th, 13th rounds that are, expected to outscore a lot of these other guys. And it's hard to find those guys who know who to pick in those rounds. But I've been, kind of consistently killing it as far as this draft simulator goes. And been very happy with it. So, yeah. All right. Hey, thanks for joining us on this ride. I mean, 12 episodes. I know they are, kind of short episodes, but for everyone that's given us some views and some shares, likes, and subscribes, all that good stuff, we definitely appreciate it. We're looking forward to having a great season, a fun season filled with lots of wins, lots of points, lots of tough decisions, and lots of time with you guys, right? So I'm going to be here for you all season long again, right here in this chair, ready to help you out, breaking down footage, breaking down numbers and stats, bringing you the projections that you need week in and week out to keep your team killer. So, this draft prep and your drafts, that's just the beginning. That's just the first step. You got to be on the waiver wire. You got to be making trades. You got to be, really just keeping your ear to the ground and knowing what's going on in the fantasy world. Because as soon as something happens, if your league is, one of those leagues where first come, first serve after Wednesday, hey, I know every league I'm in, I know that one shark, right? We all know that. We all know that one shark that's in our league that somehow about 60 seconds after the news breaks, they've already got the must-have free agent on their team. There's always that person. You're somewhere when you're like, oh God, look, I got this alert that this happened. It's already done. It's already done by the time you got that information. So that's just the truth, y'all. All right. Anyway, we're going to take the holiday weekend off. Enjoy your Labor Day. I know I'm going to enjoy mine. We're going to be back middle of the week next week on Wednesday with our first show right before the season starts. On Thursday, we'll get going with our previews for the games that night and for the game that night and for the games that weekend. Get started with our regular schedule there, right? So it's going to be our first week, kind of moving into that schedule. But we're going to take a handful of days off here. So have a wonderful, safe, great holiday. and we look forward to seeing you guys soon, all right? Take care. Have a good one. Bon voyage. Arrivederci.